Tears of the Kingdom is one of the biggest games out there right now, and that makes it so impossible to talk about. So many people are excited about it, and it's breaking sales records all over the world and even getting talked about in other places besides video games. It's not hyperbole to say Tears of the Kingdom has a cultural significance. It's gotten fantastic reviews, high praise from people all over the video game industry, and gamers are just having a great moment right here. Now, I've been playing this game since its release, and the question has popped into my head multiple times. Is Tears of the Kingdom the greatest game ever made? I don't know. Maybe? I haven't beaten it yet, and I still got a long way to go. That's probably one part of why it's impossible for me to talk about this game. I'm taking my sweet time on it, and I knew this game was going to be huge. I guess I severely underestimated just how wombo sized this game will be. But this isn't a review at all. No, this is about why Tears of the Kingdom is impossible to talk about right now. But first, let's talk about my impressions. The mechanics introduced in this game with Ultra Hand, Fuse, Ascend, and Recall are not just game changers, but also game breakers, inviting the player to just go nuts, to run wild with their imagination. Already people are posting up some wild contraptions and some dark humor. I've said any video game that gets released should be considered a miracle, but this one is special. My first play session, I was enthralled and happy. Nintendo did a bit of a remake with Breath of the Wild here, especially with how similar both the beginnings for that game and Tears of the Kingdom were. I loved it. The conceit in the introduction just works. The devs did an amazing job guiding the player back into this world of Hyrule, laying out breadcrumbs of imagination and creativity for you to decide how far you want to take this game. Now, playing through the tutorial area was like playing a full game already, taking a couple hours to get through and learning the mechanics and the world like a little fawn, struggling to adapt in this new world. The controls is much more involved here, even though there's a familiarity to it, and I just played Breath of the Wild not too long ago. The Sky Island tutorial feels bigger than Great Plateau in a good way. The rush of emotions, just like playing Breath of the Wild, just came back to me. And then you land onto the main overworld, skydiving after the amazing and brilliant tutorial stage, and the game opens up to infinite possibilities, but still trying to guide you as much as you allow it to. The sandbox is open and it is filled to the brim with something to do. Progress if you like with the main story, or just go with the flow. I've been playing just on vibes really, and I'm enjoying every minute. I've done a little bit of stuff all around the game. I want to be spoiler free, which is why I only have a video of me playing the first few hours or so, but I haven't beaten this game and I won't be done playing with it for a long time. I'm absorbed into this world and I crave to continue to play it even as I'm making this video. I'm a type of gamer that really takes their time going through it, getting as much out of it as I want to. If I had to guess, it'll take me about a solid month or month and a half to roll credits. I just want to explore and see everything I want to see, which leads me now to my main point about this game. It's way too early to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. The premise of this title is to basically follow up on the juggernaut of Breath of the Wild. Such an impossible task, and so far Aonuma, Fujibayashi, and the rest of the Zelda team have knocked it out of the park. But this game just came out barely over a week ago. I'm still in the honeymoon phase of it all, and I think a lot of people are too. There's probably 100 videos already giving out deep dives, impressions, comparisons, and retrospectives on Tears already. I don't know how they're able to do that, because I need this game to sit with me and marinate. But what I can say now is that whatever deep take they're saying, they're all wrong. At this moment, Tears is insanely huge. The mechanics we're playing here are something that usually happens in 4 or 5 separate games, and yet we have it all in just one. This is an open world sandbox to the truest definition. Usually for games in this genre, they introduce you to the rules and they hold your hand through the story, the gameplay, and sometimes you're locked into areas until you progress. Nintendo said, nah, this is a Zelda game, whatever, and trust you to figure it all out if you want to. Who cares? It's Tears of the Kingdom. Gosh, this game is so good. Like, I know I'm a broken record player now, but Tears is massive and such an impossible thing to grasp right now, and that detail is important. I've only done 2 dungeons and I've poured over 50 hours into this game. It's already changing my relationship with the Zelda franchise, Breath of the Wild, and video games as a whole, and I've only seen, I don't know, like 10%, if even that. This truly is a special game, and it's resonating with so many people out there. There's a lot of good conversations already. You got the Tears being better than Breath of the Wild. Depends on your taste. Arguments over Z-Link. I'm a shipper for this. And my favorite one is, what does the future of Zelda games will look like? Like, yo, this game barely came out and we're talking about this already? I actually heard this the Thursday before the game came out, but it's a fair point. Maybe a future video. This all leads to my main point. Tears is impossible to talk about. There's too much to talk about with this game because there's too much to experience. It's really playing with all my senses with just how meticulously crafted the entire game is. Shout out to the dev team because this is so magical. I'm not a game developer, but I have a feeling a lot of devs are super impressed by the design of Tears of the Kingdom. There's so many systems and mechanics, and they all seem to work. And in this day and age where AAA video games are released in a broken mess or having some extensive day one patches, gosh, how is this not a miracle? Now, with all that said, the big main reason why it's impossible to talk about this title is that we're not ready yet. Tears of the Kingdom has to sit and marinate with us for some time before we go on Game of the Year or comparisons or open world discourse. I know the conversation is fun and enticing, and I know I'm kind of doing it right now anyway. I just believe this game has to simmer with us for a bit. Let us sleep on it. Have Tears be in the back of our mind in a month or two, or even down to a year when Game of the Year conversations start picking up. This is funny because this line of thinking would not apply to so many other video games. So why is it impossible for Tears but not for any other games? Well, it's cause of Breath of the Wild. Nothing exists in a vacuum. Tears wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Breath of the Wild, or Skyward Sword, or even OG Zelda. And Tears doesn't get a free pass because it has to be the direct sequel to Breath of the freaking Wild. Such a wild thing to live up to. And Breath of the Wild has a distinction as the pinnacle of open world games. Such a high bar for any sequel to clear. I can just flat out say that I would recommend Tears of the Kingdom to anybody. No question about that. But we're not talking about just the game and if it's good or not, which it is. We're talking about its legacy compared to Breath of the Wild. This game is only over a week old. I don't know if Tears of the Kingdom is better than Breath of the Wild. Maybe it is. It definitely has already made me change my view of Breath of the Wild. It feels a little undercooked now, and if I were to think about it, I've said the traversal system with the climbing and paraglider was outstanding, allowing players to virtually go anywhere, anytime they want to, and I still believe that. But the way I can travel Tears goes beyond the scope in the previous game. There's sky islands and a huge underworld map with its own way of traversal, and a Zonai tech ranging from fans to control sticks to rockets pushes for creativity and great imagination from players. I can fly and skydive and build weird, cool stuff and pray that it works, but also I don't mind seeing it fail. And Shrines in Tears feels leagues better than it did before. Maybe a little bit of Zonai greater than Monks debate here. There's a relaxing joy in playing just on vibes alone. I just walk and fly through Hyrule, looking for anything that piques my interest. Sometimes I'm completing quests before even realizing what I was doing was part of a quest line. Last time I had that feeling of wondrous curiosity was Elden Ring, and before that was Breath of the Wild. And this time, it felt a little different. Like, imagine your favorite food, but better. Somehow Nintendo pulled a Godfather 2 or an Empire Strikes Back, a rarity in any kind of sequel. There's a really sweet and delicious taste in my mouth when I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom, but maybe because I've waited 6 years to play this game and I was going to be happy with anything. Maybe that nostalgia hit is more potent than I thought it would be. But whatever is the real cause, I just really dig this game. Tears is so enjoyable and addicting. It's been a wholesome experience, especially being on Twitter and reading other people's experiences, watching some gnarly highlights and contraptions, and listening to gamers' thoughts. This has been a small cultural moment in the best way, and I get to share this experience with my wife. She loved playing Breath of the Wild and has been having a blast playing Tears. I think what's been the best part of playing Tears is how many great feelings I'm having with this game, and a lot of it isn't just directly playing it. It's sharing those cool moments with strangers, friends, and loved ones. That's really special. It reminds me of that one ad where a man seems to be depressed with a monotony of life. Then he plays Tears and rediscovers his own sense of wonder. I empathize with that, where something so small like a video game can help recapture the joy in this one life we all have. I can maybe say right now Tears of the Kingdom is a better game than Breath of the Wild. There is a lot of stuff it has improved on, but I can't exactly say right now at this time Tears of the Kingdom is the GOAT or my favorite game ever. I gotta let it simmer. But what I can say is that I am riding on a great high right now playing Tears, and I don't see that high going away anytime soon. What do you think? Are you enjoying playing Tears of the Kingdom? Whatever your thoughts are, please leave a comment down below and tell me what's been your favorite thing so far, or if you're just having a bad time and you want to vent. I'll read it all. And I hope you're enjoying your time in Hyrule. See ya.